All right, let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Kalijah Cansey, the defensive lineman out of Pitt. If you didn't see the combine, you got to go back and look at his combine performance. He lit it up. Scouts were talking around the league. GMs were talking around the league. You talk about risers and fallers. Cansey definitely rose coming out of that combine. He's one of these guys. He's a get to the ball. He can get to the quarterback. The biggest downside is you'll hear people talk about his size. If you look at somebody's size and your guiding principles as an organization, if he can't get over his size, go in a different direction. Like Bryce Young, I don't think that's the case. I think most scouts, most GMs will take a risk on this guy, even though he's not as big as you'd like to see him. But he can get after the quarterback. I think he's going to be a day 2 pick. And I would compare him in terms of a comp to Aaron Donald. I think he's that good with that much speed and athleticism. He's going to have a successful career in the NFL. All right, let's continue on. More offensive linemen. Cody Mock out of North Dakota State, 6'6", 303. Keep in mind, this guy came into college as a 221-pound tight end, gained over 80 pounds to get to where he's at. He's one of these guys. He's a leader on the team, very aggressive. He's a spark, emotional leader up front at the point of attack. Has 15 starts under his belt. He's a run blocker. He can drive you into the ground. He can pancake you. I think one of the biggest things he just needs to improve in terms of his game and his draft status is just getting better as a pass blocker and getting a little more nuanced about how he defends his quarterback. I think the biggest comp that I would consider is probably Chris Cupper out of the 2006 NFL draft. All right, staying on the defensive side of the ball, let's talk about Yaya Diaby, the edge rusher out of Louisville. Good size coming into the league right at that 265 to 270 range at 6'4", so he's got a good build. He's one of these guys that's very athletic, got a big motor, very productive in college. He's got a unique playing style in terms of coming off the edge. What you're really looking for is somebody with enough strength to run through people or enough speed to run around him. He's got some of those skills, but what you'll notice on film is this is a guy coming off the edge that can bounce off tackles and still get to the quarterback. Kind of reminds me of Joey Bosa. And I don't mean Joey Bosa in the fact that Diaby's going to be a first-round draft pick. That's not going to happen. He's not nearly as physically talented as Bosa, but he's got a very similar playing style to Joey Bosa out of Ohio State in the 2016 draft.
Servassier Dennis, the linebacker out of Pittsburgh, has been one of the most impactful defenders in the ACC over the last couple of years. In 2020, 2021, the ACC recognized him as one of the best players in the entire conference, and coaches have long had to game plan against this undersized but aggressive linebacker who can absolutely make you pay with his game-changing impact. The effort and the energy, which makes up for some of the size concerns at 6 feet, 226 pounds, those are reasons why I think that he will stick on an NFL roster, if for no other reason than to go and participate in special teams. And it is being a special teams contributor that has us comping him to Tennessee Titans linebacker Luke Gifford. Servassier Dennis, what he doesn't have in size, he makes up for with energy, and that is why he is going to be a role player somewhere in the NFL.
Purdue tight end Payne Durham has good size for the position, and his lower body strength allows him to play through contact. Durham falls short as an inline blocker and struggles to stay engaged as a blocker in space. Lacks explosion into his breaks, but has a knack for settling into the soft spots of zone coverage. Durham has strong hands, evident by his 2.6% drop rate last season. And at the NFL Combine, he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.87 seconds, with a 1.61 second 10-yard split. Durham is a role player likely competing for a roster spot at the next level. We have compared him to former Ravens tight end Crockett Gilmore.
Trey Palmer, receiver out of the University of Nebraska, is a tall receiver that is lean built, but he has excellent speed and quickness. He doesn't run many routes, so he's going to have to learn how to run routes at the intermediate and short level, but there's no question about this guy's ability to get vertical down the field. He has a second gear to blow by corners. He is excellent tracking the deep ball. If you watch a Purdue game, he did put on a show, Where he needs to get better at is strength at the point when he's going up for contested situations. He's also not very strong with the ball in his hand after the catch, but he can outrun angles in space. Someone's going to get a steal from this kid on Saturday because he's going to give them an instant vertical threat. I compare him to Mike Wallace, who played at the University of Pittsburgh. We also had at Miami when I was down there.
Sean Tucker is an absolutely electric skill position player coming out of Syracuse, where he was one of the best running backs in the ACC. He can run downhill. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He is a 2-year All-ACC selection, and he's doing this all at 5'9", 207 pounds. Yeah, the measurables might seem undersized, but to see Tucker move in the open field with the ball in his hand is to witness an incredible amount of force per square foot. And when I think about the versatile ways that he can be used, that's why I'm going to tie him to former New England Patriots running back James White, because he can be that same kind of player, adding that wrinkle to your offense. He's ready to step in and contribute right away into a running back rotation. Sean Tucker, ready for Sundays.
Maryland wide receiver Rakeem Jarrett has good size and good top-end speed for the position. At the NFL Combine, he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.44 seconds with a 1.51 second 10-yard split. Consistency has been the issue for Jarrett. He has shown the ability to play inside and outside, but produced a 14.1% drop rate in 2022, according to True Media, which was the highest rate in all of college football. Jarrett is a natural athlete that gets up to speed quickly and is able to sink his hips into his routes and snap off more precise route breaks. He could have a very fruitful NFL career or be out of the league in short order. There is a wide range of outcomes for his career, and he compares to 49ers wide receiver Daz Newsome. Oklahoma offensive lineman Chris Murray has a strong upper body as well as a wide, thick lower body, which allows him to win leverage battles and absorb contact at the point of attack. He is more developed as a run blocker, driving his feet on contact and sealing run lanes. Murray has good eyes to pick up stunts, but lacks high-end speed and mobility to become scheme versatile. His feet narrowed when engaged, which leads to a loss of balance in pass protection, and he has starting qualities in the NFL. We have compared him to former NFL offensive lineman Andy Levitre.
Luke Haggard, guard out of Indiana, has a lot of Chris Cooper in his game. He came in at 6'6", 297 pounds at the Shrine Bowl, which makes him a tall drink of water and undersized, even by NFL offensive tackle standards. And while he was the Hoosiers' left tackle for every snap the last 3 seasons, his 33 1/8 inch arms almost certainly means his NFL future will be inside, in part because he struggled to anchor against some Big Ten edge rushers, and NFL edge rushers are quite a step up from that level of competition, but also because Haggard looked at times to be at his limits athletically playing tackle. But that's okay. He shows an innate ability to combo block and then find and lock up his second-level targets, and he's solid against twists and stunts. Moving inside will also alleviate his struggles against speed rushers around the edge.
Iowa safety Kayvon Merriweather is a player with good size and a muscular build. He plays with good balance but below average top-end speed. At the NFL Combine, he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.62 seconds with a 1.58 second 10-yard split. The ex-Hawkeye is a fluid athlete with average burst. He can flip his hips quickly and transition across the field, but projects more as a zone defender, leaning on good awareness and natural feel for spacing. Merriweather has modest production in college and projects as more of a role player in the NFL. We have compared him to former NFL safety Rodney Poole.
Jose Ramirez, defensive lineman out of Eastern Michigan, and his comp, Josh Uche. Playing in the MAC will immediately raise questions about the level of competition, and in such cases, NFL evaluators want to see you dominate. Ramirez, who transferred from Arizona, checked that box. The last 2 seasons for Eastern Michigan, he had 20 sacks. At just a shade under 6'2" and 249 pounds, he could stand to add some weight, but his 33-inch arms regularly allows him to win in pass rush situations. He also can set the edge versus the run, and his high motor has him routinely playing through the whistle. And while he flashes some athleticism, he's not particularly bendy, and as a 6-year player, he's not only older, but maybe maxed out physically.